Courtney Comax.
Thank you to the member from Richmond South for her comments. I'd just like to add that the living wage calculation was spawned after the contracts of health workers were ripped up and people were laid off in the thousands. And so this is a really important aspect of how we look at the world of affordability. In outlining how the living wage is calculated, a vivid picture emerges about the challenges facing low-wage families. Imagine not having enough money to afford a birthday party for your child or pay for dental care. And as in the case in 2008, when we saw families ripped apart. Imagine not having children because you don't see yourself ever earning enough to give them that birthday party or let alone send them to college. As I said, the CCPA has been calculating the living wage since 2008. Each year, up until this latest report, the living wage went up and up, while more and more people fell further and further behind, and the number of children and families living in poverty grew. The previous government heard the call for 9 years, yet did nothing. Childcare costs exceeded inflation, MSPs doubled, and the policies that boosted the top 2% never trickled down to the families that needed it the most. This government's commitment to making life affordable began to take shape when we took office less than 2 years ago. This current trend downward in the living wage shows how our government's actions are beginning to help people. And when people have a little economic security, communities and employers benefit, as does the economy as a whole. Despite working hard, not having enough money to buy essentials or pay all the bills, it takes its toll on workers and on their children. Low-income earners suffer stress 2 times more often than higher earners. And this results in poorer health and higher health care costs. Poorer health leads to absenteeism from work and reduced productivity. Lifting wages, then, is good for business in the long term. Let's not forget that children from low-income families suffer. Working harder means more time away from the kids, adding to everyone's stress. Children are less likely to do well in school, will have poorer health outcomes as they grow up, and are less likely to do well in the workforce. We need well-trained workers, and we would do well to make sure our children grow up to be bright contributors to our future economy. And let's not forget that small business owners are workers too. So providing for affordable childcare and reducing and eliminating regressive fees and taxes support them too. Without the measures we've taken to reduce the cost of childcare and MSP, the living wage would have gone up significantly, rather than going down 8%, which it would have, in reverse, risen that amount. Seeing the dial move to reduce the living wage is good for people and good for business. There's a way to go, but we are on the right path.
Thank you,
Mr. Speaker.